Alrighty. Trundle along here on the way to work. Oh man. Well, hopefully given a few more months I won't be doing this bullshit anymore. Not every day anyway. Oh god, woke up a bit too early. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some of the ideas that I sort of have for Link. If you live in a van, you're going to have so much extra spare time with the 3 hours less travel time a day. I've seen something actually on YouTube on the BBC. I had 2.5 hours commute time a day to work, and that caused me a mental breakdown. Oh, fucking what? What the fuck? Yeah, fucking wimp. It was someone who was commuting by train into the city of London. Of course, you've got all these brain-dead motherfuckers there. Oh, you should buy a car. You know what the average speed is inside London? 2.5 kilometers an hour. I'm not joking. It's like 1.75 miles an hour, or 1.5 miles an hour. That's the average speed. Why the fuck would you be buying a car if you spend 2.5 hours a day on trains? Another dickhead. Oh, take the bus. Oh, fuck me. Even stupider. You know, in the same damn jam-ups anyway. But anyway, apparently she, it's, standing room only because it's peak hour. So I had a mental breakdown because of 2.5 hours a day travel time. Fucking, I'm crying a river of piss for you. Fucking who cares? God damn. If you're really worried about some of these travel things, I've got a job that I'm well entrenched in, not permanent, although they're pushing for that, and I probably will actually end up going permanent anyway. But it's a job that I'm comfortable with, although the pay's not as good as it could be. My day is fairly easy, especially with a sidekick. How many of you people have got sidekicks who you can give all the shit jobs to? Well, I do, and I'll tell you what, that sort of is a real encouragement to stay in a job, because it's, I wouldn't say laziness, but I would say comfortability. So anyway, what I was going to say is, if you're not in a job that's that comfortable, I would consider afternoon shift, because you get better travel times because of less traffic. And yeah, but anyway, I'm sort of comfortable in this job, so I'm sort of trying to work my life around the job, because it's, a fairly cushy job, to be honest. And although the pay isn't as good as other places, like for the workload and how, good things are for me, I wouldn't really want to change jobs. But anyway, if I'm up there living in a van, I'm going to have a heap of extra time on my hands, about 3 hours, as aforementioned. What am I going to do with this time? Well, probably watch too much fucking YouTube. But there has been other thoughts, and it's like the train wreck that's, I don't know if it's as good as watching Elvis, but I know it's still a train wreck, and that's Link's love life. Oh yeah, I know it's a circus, I know. But I've sort of had other ideas. I've had multiple ideas. I was going to go to the Solomon Islands last year, the end of not 2018, the end of 2017, with the hopes of meeting a girl. There's another girl from Vanuatu I was talking to, and Oh, you know, I even considered Arabic girls, because a lot of these ones coming over from Syria are actually Christians and stuff like that. So I went to learn Arabic for a few weeks there, and, you know... well, also, a lot of the Sudanese girls are Christians, and, you know, the fact is, I've always sort of liked black girls anyway. You know, Little Miss, some of you may remember, she was, well, basically Pacific Islander. She was black, essentially. She referred to herself as a brown person, but whatever. I used to tell her, you can be whatever you want to be, I'll still love you, you know, but there's, you know, another one was I was going to get serious. At the end of last year, I was considering a bit of time with in an Aboriginal area. And then I've sort of thought, well, you know what, you know, the city that I'm working in, that I'm going to be living in a van in, there's plenty of actual African girls there, you know? And, I mean, you see them, you know, walking around and stuff and that, and, you know, at shops and stuff like that, and, you know, although there's none out where I am in the country town, well, in the city, yeah, there's quite a lot of them, you know, there is a lot. Now, something with the East Africans, they're a bit different from the African Americans that you may know. You go watch Black Hawk Down and there's a few hints there about it. They call them skinnies. The fact is, they're very tall, they're very slim, and they're a lot darker. And I mean, they're really, really dark, very dark, some of them. Unfortunately, they're not very busty, but in the case of the back end, holy smoke, yeah, some of them didn't lose out there. There's one I used to work with at the chicken plant, and she had pretty buck teeth, and you know, wasn't the hottest looking girl, and you'd walk in there and, you know, she'd be getting all the whites on, because you got to have all this white stuff. It's just part of what they wear at meatworks and all that. And yeah, she had an ass on her like you could have fucking stacked books on it, honestly. Like it was like a fucking bookshelf. And then she turns around to the front and it's probably A-cup boobs or something like that, you know, and you're just like, what the fuck happened here? How can your ass be like so big you could stack books on it? Like literally it was the width of a bookshelf. And it's just phenomenal, you know, and you're just like, holy smoke! And then she turns around the front and it's like, what happened? You know, you think she's going to be packing bloody double S cups or something like that. No. But yeah, some of them have this sort of almost like a, I don't know if it's kwashiorkor as a kid that sort of leads to this, but it's sort of like a bit of a bump sort of just below their rib cage. You know, and I remember one of them there, she was a really nice girl, and you know, that was about the same time that I was sort of, you know, getting serious with Little Miss, or, well, I thought I was. And anyway, I thought, just stick to the girl you know, already dealing with. And she was a very nice girl, this other one. And when I first saw her, I thought she's about 2 months pregnant, because she's got like this real high up. Anyway, I was at that place for months on end. Nothing changed. And I've since seen a girl like it. You know, it's not pregnant, it's like fatty liver or something like that from kwashiorkor as a kid or something like that, you know, or something anyway. Sort of, I assume that's what it is, because it's all part of a fatty liver, and maybe they sort of lose most of it, but they still have some of it sort of a little bit higher up or something, I don't know. But yeah, there's some of them have this sort of almost like a, I don't know if it's kwashiorkor as a kid or something like that from kwashiorkor as a kid or something like that. You know, it's sort of, I assume that's what it is, because it's all part of a fatty liver, and maybe they sort of lose most of it, but they still have some of it sort of a little bit higher up or something, I don't know. she was a lovely girl, like, you know, and she was a true refugee. Her father was actually Muslim, and he ended up more or less becoming part of an Islamic militia fighting with the government of Sudan, later to become North Sudan. And her mother was a Christian, and her mother ran to the south, escaping the civil war. Now you have Christians in the south and Muslims in the north, but you know, her father sort of ended up walking out and basically joined a militia that was sort of more or less aligned with the Muslim government army, and she's never seen him again. And you got one of these other fucking, I don't know who it was, I think he was an Iranian guy, you know, real refugee, never seen any war, but real refugee, and asking her what war's like, you know. And this guy was trying to bust a move on her, I think, and I probably should have been. I sort of couldn't relate to her very well, but she was very friendly, and a smile that could absolutely light up the room. You wouldn't believe the smile she had. But this other Iranian idiot was trying to bust a move on her, and I could see him at one point there talking away over the noise of the machine, and her face just dropped like a fucking stone. And I think he might have tried to make a move on her, make a pass at her or something, hit on her, whatever, something like that, or ask her if she was willing to join, convert to Islam for him or something like that. I don't know. But what I do know is her face dropped like a fucking stone. And yeah. So anyway, I've sort of had a few thoughts. About maybe an African girl. I am concerned about getting a stupid one. I don't really want a naive girl. It's a little bit... I really don't like stupid girls, I'll put it like that. But, you know, you can tolerate a certain amount of stupidity, but I can't tolerate very much, to be honest. But the other interesting thing is there's not just Sudanese here. There's a handful of Africans from other places. And it's surprising when you start to sort of, you know, the majority are Sudanese, but, you know, then you find there's, you know, one guy I work with, he was Eritrean. When I was at the paint warehouse, there was a guy there who was Ethiopian, you know, but the Eritrean had spent a lot of time in Ethiopia, and the Ethiopian was basically, well, always in Ethiopia and then come over here. I believe he was actually like the nephew or something of a general over there, like an actual army general. He used to go over there and he used to have police escort and the whole fucking bit. But said it's funny, you go over there and you're like fucking one of the upper crust, and he said you come back here and you're just another boring ass fucking warehouse worker on minimum wage. So, yeah. Not the warehouse worker's minimum wage, but you know what I'm saying, you're just another boring ass labourer, basically. But yeah, so there's the odd girl you hear of who, there's also ones that come from Zimbabwe that are here, and there's, well, you know, like, as to be expected, there's, you know, some who are fairly fat girls too, on occasion. Not many at all, but there are African girls who are fairly large, and if, you know, I wouldn't say no to something like that, as the saying goes. As the phrase goes, it's been used in a number of parodies. But yeah, So we'll see. I might end up with a fairly solid girl, hopefully a fairly busty girl, but we'll just see. We'll see. Interestingly enough, when I was on the dating site, I talked to another girl who was really too young to be on there, telling her to be careful when she was on the dating site, and she wanted to keep trying talking to me and all that, because I think I was the only one talking to her. But you know, I probably should have bloody kept talking to her and kept working on that relationship, because at this point, you know, she'd be fucking 20-something, so you know, I probably should have, yeah, she was Sudanese. She wasn't very busty, but by fuck, she was pretty, you know, and anyway. See how it goes. I've also thought, there's also a number of Colombians getting around, but my sister warns me they are fairly drama queenish, and it wouldn't only be my sister that said that. There's been other people that have told me that stuff, including another guy I used to work with who had dated a couple of Colombian girls, or at least known a few Colombian girls or something. But yeah, they can be a little bit drama queenish, but I had thought maybe I'll continue learning my Spanish, and I probably will continue learning my Spanish, and you know, maybe in due course I'll meet one of the Colombian girls here, because they're some of the best looking girls of South America, and also tend to be some of the bustiest ones too. Anyway, we'll see how it all pans out, and when I'm up here, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I said something to the sidekick about it all, and he said, your van will be like that fucking scene out of what's his name, the Titanic, where they're shagging in the fucking T-Model Ford or whatever it is, and you got like the fucking fog on the windows and the handbug. Anyway, I don't know, it'll be quite like that, but anyway, we'll see what happens.